Now at 6 on Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45, a former Greensboro councilman facing DWI charges. We'll tell you what happened. Plus, a piece of history comes to the Gate City, the story behind her and why you can see it in person. And giving back, how a Triad healthcare system is helping people heal and those in need. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sharon Stone. We'll have those stories coming right up. First here at 6 o'clock. Meteorologist Doug Lindsay is here. The first check of your weather on the One's forecast. Doug, it looks clear behind you, but it's really cooling off, feeling like fall out there.
Just a matter of time before.
Greensboro police have charged downtown Greensboro Incorporated President Zach Matheny with driving while impaired. Officers say they found the former Greensboro City Council member parked in an empty parking lot off of North Church Street and Cone Boulevard around 3:40 this morning. They found Matheny with his head down on the steering wheel. Officers detected a strong smell of alcohol and conducted a series of field sobriety tests. Matheny was taken to the police department, processed, and released. The Gate City is preparing to welcome a very special visitor in a week. The arrival of a pilgrimage of mercy could draw big crowds for one of just a few stops in select cities across this country. Our Amara Mokwe shows us what's in store. Amara. All right, thank you, Amara. And you can see a full schedule of the day's events on our website, twcnews.com. Leaders in Yadkin County continue to make strides in reopening the county's only hospital. It abruptly closed in May. In August, the county hired 2 healthcare consulting companies to determine whether the hospital was economically viable to open again. Those firms gave commissioners an update, saying the report indicates the hospital is in a good position to operate. Last month, the hospital reopened a doctor's office at the facility. People in Franklin County will have to look to surrounding areas if they need hospital care. Franklin Medical Center closed its doors for good this morning. Novant Health says they made the decision because that facility was underused. They've offered to transfer the hospital to a new owner at no cost, but without a buyer and with more than $6 million in loss from the hospital, the decision was made to close.
It's been a part of my life for 56 years now. My sister was born there in 1958, and I hate to see it close.
My mother-in-law, she's blind, and she stays sick all the time. And so we had to carry her way to Wake Med now. And that's bad there.
The closest hospital is about 20 miles away in Henderson. Wake Med in Raleigh is about 30 miles away. The closure will leave 150 people without jobs. Cone Health is paying it forward through their employees. The healthcare system gave $1,000 to some employees to share with a charity of their choice. Our Brandon Livornia talked to one of those employees who got a golden ticket. For more information about the Caring Kitchen or to help them out, check out this story on twcnews.com. If you plan on heading out to the state fair this year, officials are reminding people to wash their hands, especially after being near livestock. An E. coli outbreak in 2004 prompted state officials to implement several hand washing stations. After another outbreak affected 25 people in 2011, extra barriers were put up between animals and fairgoers.
For many people, the fair is the only opportunity they may have to come see a cow or a pig or a mule. And so we want to make sure they get that experience, but we want everybody to understand that things like washing your hands and keeping your distance are great little steps that you can take and keep everybody healthy.
Officials say yesterday's attendance at the state fair was more than 50,000. That is a new record for preview day. A business owner is working to rebuild after a fire damaged his restaurant. It happened around 7:30 yesterday evening at the Pizzario restaurant off Market Street near NCA&T. Investigators say there were a few people inside at the time, but no one was hurt. The owner says he wasn't there when the fire happened, but getting the call from his employees was shattering news.
It's been hurting a lot right now because it's gonna hurt more, but what can I say? Everybody's okay, and thanks God, my employees are good, nobody get hurt, so that's the main thing,
Sin says the restaurant was in business for a little more than a year and they always had customers. He will rebuild, but he has no timeline on when that restaurant will open. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Investigators arrest a Rowan County man they say is behind a spree of break-ins, but he is not the only one they're looking for. The sheriff's office says Dustin Polston broke into several cars and sheds. According to arrest warrants, Polston targeted a couple miles in Mooresville in late September. Investigators say he stole power tools, saws, a welder, and cash, all taken from unlocked cars or outbuildings.
Because if they knock the window out, the deductible would cost me more money than what's in the vehicle. So, it's a personal choice. But if you do leave things in there, be careful.
Investigators say Polston was not working alone. They're also looking for people behind break-ins in Rockwell neighborhoods around the Gold Knob Road area. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Rowan County Sheriff's Office. This may not be the news you want to hear heading into the weekend, but Uber drivers around the country are asking people to not use the ride-sharing service for the next 3 days. We'll break down why after the break. A piece of history is flying into the sunset. The last U.S. Airways flight is closing out the iconic U.S. Air brand. The company is finishing up the last steps of a merger with American Airlines. Our Andrew Sorensen has been following that merger from the start. He joins us from Charlotte Douglas to tell us about the finish and the emotion there for U.S. Air employees. Uber drivers across the country ask customers to not request a ride from the company for 3 days as they rally for higher wages. At a protest in Raleigh, drivers say they want rates raised from 85 cents per mile to $1.60 per mile. They also want a tipping function added and see the minimum fare price raised to $7.
But as the fares decreased again and again and again, I simply can't afford it anymore. But Uber hasn't communicated to riders that they should expect a different level of service. And so that puts drivers in a very difficult position.
10,000 Uber drivers are estimated to strike over the next 3 days. Historic matchup is going down in Greensboro tonight. JV Ricks is live with the details. Plus a scary moment in Charlotte caught on camera. That is in our Carolina Minute. All right, thank you, Doug. It was another week of gains for stocks. Let's get the latest on the economy now from our team on Wall Street. Halloween is almost here, but are people scared to spend a little money on the holiday? According to a recent High Point University poll, 65% of North Carolinians say they will celebrate the holiday. 15% of them say they will spend the same as they did last year. The same percentage said they'll spend less. The average is between $60 and $70.
The times that I'm behind the registers and talking to customers, that everybody seems to maybe be a wee bit, well, maybe I'll get this but not that, but they're still spending, they're still having a good time, they still want to celebrate Halloween.
The High Point University poll surveyed more than 440 people by phone between September and October. Here's tonight's Carolina Minute. As the search continues for a new UNC system president, state lawmakers are expressing concerns with the process. The UNC Board of Governors held an emergency closed-door meeting today. Margaret Spellings, former U.S. Secretary of Education under President George W. Bush, showed up during the open portion of the meeting and was ushered out. The State Occupational Safety and Health Division is investigating the deaths of 2 workers killed last month in Wilmington when a backhoe struck a live power line. 55-year-old James Williams and 49-year-old Manuel Melendez were killed. Investigators will try to determine the cause of the accident and whether there was a related safety or health violation. Scary moments in Northwest Charlotte after a fire sparked at a gas station on Mount Holly Huntersville Road. This was all caught on surveillance video. Several people ran toward the fire with extinguishers to put it out. Those pumps were shut down immediately, likely preventing anyone from getting hurt. These stories and more are available anytime on Time Warner Cable News. And be sure to join us again at 11. Changes are coming to downtown Winston-Salem, how old buildings are becoming new again and going green. That's our time at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is next. Hope to see you back here at 11.